I'm here to remind us all that the dust is global. This was posted in the relationship advice subreddit. So she's 32, he's 38. She says, I asked my Mexican husband why he is never pleased with my contributions. He told me that I needed to Google how to make a Mexican man happy. That doesn't really help. What am I missing? She says, hey, Reddit, this is my first post, so I apologize if it's not clear. My thoughts are truly all over the place. I guess I'm hoping that someone who shares cultural values or views with my Mexican husband will help a girl out. A little backstory. My husband, A, seems to constantly complain about everything I do, don't do, how I do it, etc. It seems like there's no winning, no matter how hard I try. We have been married almost 2 years, and it's been a very busy 2 years. We got pregnant right away, had a C-section, and 6 weeks later, we were moving into our first home, a three-story 1907 fixer-upper. While we were both very excited about this adventure, learning how to work on the home together, making it ours, I definitely could have waited. However, it was extremely important to my husband that we own a home instead of renting. So I spent my maternity leave packing, unpacking, cleaning, painting, refinishing cupboards instead of staring and cooing with our sweet baby girl. Also, I feel it's important to mention I have a son, 11-year-old son named Jay from a previous marriage. Jay has several diagnoses which require different therapies, medications, is out of school often for behavioral management, etc. Here's the issue. My husband works 60 hours a week, takes the garbage out once a week, helps with some chores and mowing the yard on Sundays. Yes, he is incredible and works very hard to support his family. Meanwhile, his expectations of me are to work 20 to 30 hours a week and do all the things that a stay at home mom does. I feel like I do a pretty damn good job. Our home is tidy. The kids are always taken care of. I do fun things with them when I can. My part-time job is in nursing. It is a hard job as we are short staffed, and I'm often doing the job of two nurses for about 40 patients. I don't take breaks. I often don't even get to eat at work, but I give my best and I push myself to exhaustion every day at home and work. At work, I'm recognized for it. Here, it's never enough. Everything I do is wrong. I don't mind working hard. I'm a people pleaser, but he is never pleased. He always says stuff like, you should have seen my mommy cook. I'm cooking and scrubbing laundry all day. Nursing is not hard. His biggest complaint is that I don't cook full Mexican meals enough. I'm constantly compared to his sister or his mother, who always had hot food and fresh pancakes, tortillas, waiting for the men after work. His family are farmers, and the women stayed home and had plenty of other women to help. I'm on my own, taking care of everything except the damn garbage. He gets home at 10 p.m. I often try to have something quick to make, simple tacos with guacamole and queso, etc. But he is always sending me elaborate recipes on TikTok in Spanish. On maternity leave, I was working on my Spanish a lot more. Now I hardly have time to shave my legs. I have asked many times that Google a recipe in English is close to what he sees in the video, but he refuses. You should learn Spanish if you care about being a good wife. I even bought cookbooks written by Mexican chefs for him to pick recipes out of. None of those are like what my mom would bake. Okay. I just can't get my mind to comprehend why he's so difficult about this. I don't have time to cook full Mexican meals several times a day for one, and two, he won't help give me the skills to do it. He shames me for not doing it, but is not willing to support me in doing so. I serve healthy meals, but they aren't usually extravagant. Our daughter might have an egg, yogurt, and fruit for breakfast, some shredded chicken, frijoles, and avocado for lunch, etc. Simple but well balanced. She's also breastfed. I used to love to cook and try new recipes. Now I hate it more and more because no matter how good it is, how hard I work, something will be wrong with it. I know this is a lot. I guess in summary, I just want to understand how, if I'm otherwise a great wife, housekeeping, caring for children, running the household, intimacy, doing my best to take care of myself and present myself, etc., why is he so hurtful about the cooking? Why does my lack of time or skill to make full Mexican meals at 10 p.m. every night make me a terrible wife? Does Spanish Latino culture place so much importance on food that it ends your marriage if the wife is a crappy cook? If you made it, thank you. I guess if you made it this far, thank you and sorry for the rant. Signed, the exhausted, terrible wife. If this man wanted full on Mexican meals done the way his mama and his sister did it, why didn't he marry a Mexican woman that's raised in that culture and knows the language and the food? This makes no sense. This woman will never be able to be what this man wants her to be. She's going to constantly be coming up short. She's going to stay miserable. And I guess that's what people were saying in the comments because she edited. Edit to add. Gosh, I really made him sound like a monster. The food thing is really the majority of our issues besides normal couple spats. He's not always a great listener, but I guess he's just emotionally challenged. He doesn't get the whole woman just wanting to talk, not wanting a solution thing. He doesn't understand why I get emotional about my job or other things. It's all in your head. Don't let your mind control you, he says. LOL. I guess they don't have anxiety or feelings in Mexico. Many have asked what I'm getting from the marriage. Aside from what I mentioned as his contributions to the family above, he makes me laugh a lot, tells me I'm beautiful, gives me attention, is amazing with both of our children, spoils all of us when he can while never spending money on himself. Always make sure to give me a kiss when he passes or some other form of touch or intimacy. He gives me grace on things. Doesn't sound like he does. He gives me grace on things that I sometimes don't get done when it's hard to give it to myself. Seriously, he's a great husband outside of this idea that working women have time to spend all day in the kitchen. He just doesn't understand time limitations, and I can't get him to see that I can't spread myself any thinner. Her edit did not make him sound any better. Her edit, it doesn't sound like what he is giving to her is even comparable to all of the he's doing to her. And this man is going to stress her out to no end. This sounds like a terrible relationship. All right, so let's get to some of these comments. She says, this woman, Leselina, says, hello, I'm a Mexican woman. I was definitely raised to be a man's slave, laughing my butt off. I don't date most Mexican men today because I don't want to be in your shoes. If he wants you to do all that, he should pay all them bills. Many Mexican women are able to do all that because the man is the provider. In my opinion, you are getting shafted here because you do all the housework and childcare, and let me guess, you're putting down money for the bills too. You tell him, yo no soy te puta gata. I don't know what that says. Is there some cuss words in there? That being said, go on YouTube and look up de mi rancho a tu cocina. Put the English subtitles in. You're welcome. Useless advice says, I work around Mexican men on job sites. I wouldn't wish marriage with them on my worst enemy. Jesus. The OP just says thank you. Kaleidoscope says, I want to copy my other comment here because you now have a Mexican girl on your corner. Know that you also have a dude right here. All right. It says, as a Mexican, your husband is a mama's boy. Ha 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 ha. The guys here in Mexico that are not mama's boys would have bullied him into the dust. Like my ma used to say, you have hands, you have feet, and probably a brain. So you can do by yourself. So you better start learning how to care for yourself and your grown ass. I was in high school or preparatoria para las mixas. So there you go. Tell him you have hands, feet, and probably a brain. I'm totally sure that that wouldn't cause an argument in her home based on what we have heard. But I just wanted to remind us all that the dust is global. Lots of these people expect slaves simply because they have a peen, and that is a global patriarchy thing. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think of this one. Do you think that this is going to end in divorce? Probably, once she gets fed up enough. Join the conversation, like, comment, share. For the people who think having kids is their retirement or their long-term care plan, they better listen to this post. This woman, she leaves out the word enjoy in the title, but she says, does anyone here actually enjoy taking care of their parents? She leaves out enjoy. I know she does because it's in the post. She says, the most heard reason for having kids is gonna have someone to take care of you. I wonder if anyone here actually enjoys taking care of their aging parents. My mom is aging and she relies on me completely. Typical Asian culture. She doesn't have a retirement fund, so it's all on me. And I'm about to get laid off. I'm feeling extremely stressed right now. I keep thinking that if this burden doesn't exist, I'd be having way less stress now, as I'd only have to take care of my own 3 meals a day, and I don't mind eating cheaply or skipping meals. I see her as nothing but a burden, and she makes burden bold. Do parents know that their kids will eventually see them that way too? Why would people who have kids thinking that their children are going to happily take care of them? I just need a space to vent. I'm not even going to editorialize. I'm just going to jump into the comments. My main thing is y'all better make sure that you're planning for your long-term care and not thinking that your children who will have lives, their own bills and their own children, stop thinking that they are going to have the funds, time or availability to take care of you. Critical Sense says, my mother has specifically told me that she doesn't expect me to take care of her in old age. She said that since it was her choice to bring me into the world, she will do everything she can for me, but that I don't have to do anything for her. I respect that a lot. Even though she says I don't have to, I probably will take care of her as she ages anyway. Not because I feel obligated to, but because I want to. Will I enjoy it? No, probably not. It is not a very nice thing to see someone you love decay and die right in front of you, but I will do it nonetheless out of respect and care for her. No one here says same, same, same. My parents don't expect it, but I live close and don't mind. My parents are nice people. It could be worse. I cared for my dad through COVID. I didn't have other stuff going on. Timing was good. He needed 24-hour attention, dementia, and we wanted to keep him home. My mom is great, fully independent, so I'm grateful, but I will move in with her someday if needed. I don't have kids, so I have the time and energy for this. Critical Sense says, yeah, if she was actually like, you must take care of me when I'm older, you owe me for giving you the gift of life, I'd be like, no, screw you. You want a gift. Here's the gift of the cheapest retirement home I could find. LOL. But she's earned my respect, so I'm going to take care of her if need be. No one here says, well put, same. Apatak says, my mother has specifically told me that she 100% expects me to take care of them in old age, like she took care of her parents. I was 13 when she told me. She worked a few days per week in a not very profitable job while her parents lived very near. She had a very good connection with her parents. I got a proper education, work almost full time, have a decent salary, and live much further away. Moreover, I tried to spend as little time with her as possible, as she is generally unpleasant. It's not going to happen. I hope she already figured this out on her own. Okay. Critical Sense says, sorry to hear that. Good on you for standing up for yourself, though. Fine Sample says, I think this is how it should work. You take care of her out of love, not out of some obligation that she intentionally placed on you. And then Critical Sense says, I think that's how all relationships should work. Personally, I've seen a lot of people maintain their relationships out of some sort of misguided sense of duty rather than any desire or love for each other. People staying in unhappy marriages, letting literal criminals stay in their house just because they're family, taking abuse from their parents, just all the ways that they get stuck with others that hurt them. It's a damn shame. Kittens and Puppies says, nope, they are abusive narcs. Cocaine Superstar, that is a funny name, says, right. I never understood that justification because despite how well you raise them, you have no say in how they'll turn out when they grow up. Will they make enough money to care for you? Will they have the time? What if they die before you? What if they simply refuse? It'd be better off if people simply didn't have kids, save the money they would have spent on them, then use that money to live a good retirement life. That way, they'd be cared for by actual nurses and be kept around doctors if anything were to happen, opposed to just staying at their house alone. Aside from having kids as a retirement plan being immoral and selfish, it makes zero practical sense since so much can go wrong. Always remember your parents owe you everything because they brought you onto this planet, but you don't owe them a damn thing. Shannon says, I told my parents as a child that I would not be taking care of them. They had me because they wanted me. They should have accounted for their retirement before I was born. They don't bother me. My dad needs care and refuses help, and my mom lives off my stepdad, who knows my stance on elderly and parental care. Parents need to have their together before having kids. Why me says, the only right position to take. Didn't ask to be born, won't lift a finger for parents who decided to impose life on you. Mara Park Kimmer says, you must be an utter joy to have as a family member. Novellian says, they didn't ask to become a family member, did they? Connect Election says, depends on how they act towards me now. If my mom keeps abusing me and ignoring my boundaries, she's going to be living in the cheapest retirement home I can find. Photonic says, tried to, but my father just called the police all the time and make false claims that he was being abused, communists were living next door, and other crap. As long as I can remember, he believed that someone called they is coming for him. I could not deal with him. He did everyone a favor by passing away. He literally ate himself to death and was so fat he couldn't stand. I'm reading all of these so you can know and understand that your children are not your retirement plan. And if you think that they are, you really need to get your life together, because your children could very easily be on one of these Reddit threads talking this kind of mess about you. I'm going to end it with this one. She says, I'm no contact with my mother for 3.5 years, partially for this reason. But she had been making me take care of her for most of my life due to her severe mental health issues and her level of dependence on others, paired with little respect or appreciation in return. Why should I take care of her? She stopped giving a about me as soon as I wasn't an adorable child, free for her to manipulate anymore. Her plan backfired. She had a kid so that she could have someone to take care of her when she's old, guaranteed. Her words, not mine. Now I really don't care where she ends up. And Acoustic Rat says, this is why I am no contact with my egg donor. So there you have it. There are some of these people's words. No, they do not. Most of them, most of these comments do not enjoy taking care of their elderly parents. Y'all join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I'm glad that we have several young women on our platforms, on these platforms, because relationships should be put in the proper perspective when you're younger and still learning yourself, the things that you like and don't like, learning how to balance relationships with friendships, your finances, all of that, learning how to balance it with life as you're experiencing new things, getting into your career. Now, this was posted in the dating advice subreddit. It is a whole lot of run-on sentences, but I'm still going to read it. She says, my fiance is a piece of and I want to break up. She says, my fiance hasn't been talking to me for 2 days now because when I was at my bestie's place, we all were girls all together. He told me to get back home at 11, but I couldn't because we had just ordered food and we were eating, and my best friend was going to give me a ride. So I waited until she was finished eating. I was home at 12:30. Then he went crazy about it. He started insulting me for not obeying him. I was like, dude, I just stayed there one more hour and the road took us half an hour. Nothing is wrong with that. Besides, there were no men, so there was nothing to worry about. He kept yelling and telling me that I broke his heart and that I don't respect him and I should have taken an Uber or a cab to go back home instead of waiting for my friend, which was so weird. And I instantly felt disgusted by his actions, and that made me feel like he's not masculine at all because he didn't care about my safety as he assumes. He only cared about his words to be followed. And I feel like I made a mistake by accepting such garbage in my life. I wanted to instantly break up. But the thing is, I can't at the moment because we're in college. We're together in college and we have projects to be done together. So I'm thinking to wait till we finish these projects, then I'll break up with him instantly. So please, guys, tell me if I'm right or what to do. This person, non-union question, says, that's a long sentence. You seem young. Don't waste your time on some weird dude that wants to control you like that. Making time for yourself and for your friends is an important part of being in a relationship and life and growing up. Why would you want to marry a dude that acts like this over a girl's night? Then the OP says, I'm 23 indeed, and he's my first love. It's a bit difficult to act right when it's actually my first time ever being in a relationship, but I definitely ended up miserable. We need to remind girls that being in a relationship that makes you miserable is totally grounds for breaking up. You do not need to stay in a relationship that makes you miserable. Not Christina says there are better relationships to be had out there. You deserve better. Finish your studies, work hard, get a great job, and you'll find happiness and success. A lot of people, most, don't end up with their first loves long term. When we're young, we're still developing, learning how to live in the world, learning what we like and don't like, finding our path. 23 is very young to be married. It works for some, but you're still growing as a person. And this guy sounds like a real jerk who will control you and affect your ability to be successful and independent. Never let someone steal your independence. If you're concerned about the grandmother changing grades, I don't know what that means. Maybe the teacher changing grades. Would you be able to get your grades in writing direct from professors? And if she changes them, then that's a pretty big deal. The OP says you're definitely right. It feels like he destroyed my self-worth. So I started believing that's what he's doing is true love. And I started giving him endless chances no matter what mistakes he made. Till I reached a point where I'm exploding. I really can't take it anymore. So I vented here as a stranger. I'll mark your words in my mind. Thank you a lot. Not Christina says, sending you lots of internet hugs. I see in your other comments that he's gotten physical with you. That's even scarier. As I'm sure you've seen in other comments here, that behavior can get much worse. Even if he cries or says that he does it out of love, you don't hit the ones you love. Not sure if it's been mentioned, but the book Why Does He Do That by Lundy Bancroft is often recommended for those who have been abused. The PDF is available online for free. I'm glad that your latest comment is about an escape plan. I hope you're able to get out easily and safely. It's a scary mental place to be in, but know that so much better is on the horizon. And the OP says, thank you so much for your recommendation. I totally appreciate it. I'll put every word into consideration. Campfire Cozy says, is he also 23? And she said, no, he's 22. This man is 22 and acting like this already. Whoever he ends up with is in for a terrible life experience. Non-union question says, maybe I'm cynical, but I did all that with my first love too. Had kids and everything. I knew long before I was with a toxic person, but I was blinded by my love. In the last 2 years, I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on lawyers. It's been nothing but a headache. So, yes, don't get with people like this. Don't enmesh with them. Don't have kids with them. And I'm going to end it with this. Not obeying him. OP, what the F kind of controlling weirdo are you engaged to? How did you miss the Soviet Union red size flags that led him acting this way? This is her first love. This is the reason why we talk about these things. Not recognizing red flags is a symptom of not having any experience with these people. Please have some grace with people with their first loves and going through these things, because maybe they just don't see. Maybe it's part of their norm. We have to talk. That's the whole point in talking about this. So people who have an outside perspective can say, this is a red flag, not saying, how the heck did you miss this? Anyway, she says, OP, run and don't look back. Be glad you didn't go through with marriage. Be prepared for this guy to become a toxic stalker. And with that, I'm going to leave it. I really hope that this girl gets away. And I just hope for the people that are watching that they don't put so much stock into these first loves, that they use this as a learning experiences, what they like, what they don't like. It gives them room to grow and all of that, learn balance and all of that as you grow in your career, your educational opportunities, building up your finances and all of that. Join the conversation. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.